Good morning, how are you? And everyone that is watching on JCTV Africa, on Zim Social and other platforms. How are you doing? We are okay. Hopefully that you are having a good morning. Today we are going to take a look at what is happening with Douglas Mwonzora. More MPs are defecting and they are actually speaking their mind in the party. So that is what we are going to delve into today. So we're going to be talking about that, but later tonight we are going to be having Mr. Juma from the city's Triple C. He's going to be telling us how the fundraising is going to happen. So please stay tuned for that one. It's going to be happening tonight. So please don't go anywhere. Tonight we're going to be having him at 9 p.m. So please stay tuned to JCTV Africa as we're going to give you that interview. If you want to donate to the cause of you want to donate towards the polling agents that are going to be used in 2023. Remember, polling agents, they need money for them to be able to work, and having polling agents in every polling station, 11,000 of them. So definitely we need about 44,000 polling agents, and all of them, they need funding. That is the reason for that show. So the fundraising has already started, so you are just joining others that have already started. So I wanted to put that out of the way and make sure that we talk about that. But the subject of the matter today is about Douglas Mwonzora. One of the MPs have defected, and some of you are much aware of the audio of Morgan Komich sharing his dissatisfaction about the party's performance in the previous by-elections. So we want to look at that, but before we go there, we want to play the audio of one of his MPs that is defected. So there is the MP. Let me just play the video.
I can clearly state that Douglas Mwonzora is dining with the ZANU-PF. He doesn't want to do anything that makes the party have a lot of support. Whenever he stands in the podium, he is found to be busy attacking Nelson Chamisa. Not at one point did I ever heard Douglas Mwonzora attacking ZANU-PF. This clearly made me believe that Douglas Mwonzora is an appendage of ZANU-PF. Now I come to the issue of abuse of funds. Since the time he has been receiving government grants, he has never funded the security department. He has never funded crucial departments of the party, like the organizing department, like the information, like the mobilization and recruitment, including security. You know, it is the duty of security to make assessments and advise the party whether to go into elections or not. I really felt humiliated by losing dismally in April. Had he funded the security department, it could have advised everyone to boycott the election until 2023, when the party would have been in a position to contest. So Douglas Mwonzora is so incompetent and is the appendage of ZANU-PF. That's why he is fighting voices of dissent.
Right. So that is the MP Zivai Metu from Epworth. He only managed to get 1,000 votes. However, he actually said he used about $50,000 for him to campaign in that area. So I want to touch on a number of things that Douglas Mwonzora is, the traits of him, what he's doing. He's failing to communicate his strategy to his his leadership team. He cannot communicate that strategy. How do I know that? For us to know and find out that Douglas Mwonzora is failing to communicate his strategy, I think he's a bad communicator overall. The first thing is that if you have a mandate to lead a party, the party is supposed to speak your language as the leader of that party. For example, you saw that on after this guy, this MP started, lamenting that he lost the elections, and the likes of Kudam of Fungai Post said that they lost the elections. They lamented and say we failed. But he did not admit that he failed. He only said that even Lionel Messi misses penalties. For me, it's not taking responsibility, and the people are not talking his language. Listen to what Morgan Komichi then said. He said, we need to go back to the drawing board and start to find out. So you can see from the interviews that people are having, you can see that they are not in sync with his vision. They are not in sync with his vision. So he is not a good communicator to his leadership, which is bad, because you want, when you hear Ostalos speaking, he's speaking the same language as his leader. When you hear Jacob Mafume, you have here Job Scala speaking, they are speaking the same language. Fadzai Mahere, they are speaking the same language. Anyone, they are speaking because it has been well communicated by the leader. You understand? So it shows you that Douglas Mwonzora is failing to do that with his leadership. If you see now, this is not start today. You remember in October when that guy Kudzanai Mashumba came out and started, narrating the issues that were happening in the party, and all this, he was saying that he did not receive his salary for more than 3 months. There was no communication. There was no contract that was written, even though he is a worker of the party. So you can see that he is not somebody who can communicate with even his immediate workers. They don't know of what is happening, which is a problem. You cannot be a leader and you cannot communicate the simplest things that are like communicate with your bodyguards, communicate with your security, and all these other clusters of your party. You cannot be a leader like that. So this is what you can see with the Douglas Mwonzora. He cannot communicate his leadership, and that's the reason why they failed dismally at the elections. His message is he did not have a clear message of what he wanted to do. Yes, people can say that he is a ZANU-PF project, which I'm going to touch later. But let's look at him. Is he able to communicate his mantra? Is he able to communicate? Do they have a goal that they want to achieve as a party, which can be communicated by any other? If you meet one MP, they will tell you the same thing. We want to achieve this, we want to achieve this. If you meet one member of leadership, you interview them, they will communicate the same thing. You understand? So I really think that Mwonzora, he might have administrative skills of maybe, which I doubt he has as well now, because he cannot be able to address small administrative matters. Look at what happened on Sunday. There was a letter that was leaked, and the people that communicated are part of his leadership. And then he came on Monday and said, we don't know them. So which means that there is no cohesion in the party. There is no cohesion. He cannot communicate that message to his members. So how can he then promise you, an ordinary member, a better life if he cannot communicate his leadership to the immediate people that he is supposed to affect? Then the second thing that you found on that, or on his presser, is that he said that they were waiting for the National Council to make a decision. But have you seen the presser that was done by ZANU-PF? Have you seen the presser that was done by Nelson Chamisa? Well articulated. We managed to win this. We want to achieve that. And if you listen to the presser of Douglas Mwonzora, it was just maybe a sentence that he would have tweeted. It's not something that was holding a bit of water to say, this is what we lost. These are the clear points that we managed to achieve. You know, there was no explanation, which comes back to the issue of communication. He is not a good communicator to his immediate. Right. Let's come to the issue of to the issue of his ZANU-PF allegiance and why why Mwonzora okay, you don't know what you're saying, that consider defeat, going back to the ground and accepting. Yes, that accepting defeat, but he did not outline the weakest points, the points like what ZANU-PF did, Masvanda. He did not outline the weakest points. The point to say we did not win this seat because of A, B, C, D. These are our weaknesses. He did not outline that. Did you hear that in his presser? Did he outline all the weakest points where they missed, how they failed to communicate, what was the electorate saying? You understand? Because there must be that communication between you and the electorate to say the electorate was saying this, the electorate was saying this. That was communicated by Morgan Comich to say people are saying that the Bashara Magapeka are Siriro. You understand? So it means that that was not communicated by the leader. The leader was supposed to communicate that, but obviously he doesn't want to be labeled as ZANU-PF puppet, which we know he is. But also to a greater extent, I want you to tell you that Douglas Mwonzora is not a ZANU-PF project per se, and I want to clarify the reason why I say it's not a ZANU-PF project per se. He's the one who intimated the conversation between him and ZANU-PF. Why? What does ZANU-PF benefit from using Mwonzora? ZANU-PF benefits from using Mwonzora in the sense that, you remember, I want you to check, if you go back from between 2003 up to now, in between elections, ZANU-PF will find ZANU-PF will find ways to make sure that there is no strength in the opposition. And this has been a big phenomenon in all the opposition in Southern Africa, so to speak. I've done my research. Afrobarometer has said the same, and other organizations have also said the same, that this has been the problem with many opposition parties in Southern Africa in particular. During the elections, they can look like a formidable force. In between, that's where they start to have splits and all of that. And that needs to be resolved, especially in Africa. Yes, you might not have resources, but most of it's a strategy that has been seen by the liberation parties, that if they can be able to just cause confusion in your opposition, in your camp, they can, keep on rolling you. That's what they are doing. So right now, a lot of you we are spending much time, or a lot of us, we are spending much time, talking about Mwonzora and how bad he is. But at the same time, ZANU-PF is making ground. ZANU-PF is registering their voters, and they are going into the rural areas. They are organizing their cell groups. So in the interim, the CCC and when the MTC, when they were fighting for 3 years, during that time, ZANU-PF is making ground. So that's what they do. So why do they also do that? The second thing that they also use is international organizations, like any other, like if you saw during the 2017 coup, that the British was ready to work with ZANU-PF. Why? Even in the doldrums of ZANU-PF, ZANU-PF remained ZANU-PF. There was no other party that could challenge like ZANU-PF that came out of ZANU-PF. You understand? So that meant that the people, like even other bigger countries, they will be looking for stability. And if they see that your parties are volatile, this one, like you remember in the interim, there was the formation of PDP, and there were so many, breakaways that happened during the time of Morgan Tsvangirai. There was no unity in the parties. So that is the same problem that we are facing at the moment. And that's why it is very important for Nelson Chamisa. These by-elections are actually a good thing for him because now there is ample time to prepare. Whereas in 2018 elections, there was only 4 months. So the reason why ZANU-PF involved themselves in these breakaways is for them to destabilize your party. Your party cannot make ground to go and convince the electorate during the 5-year period to say, look, your people are not doing the work. Your people are not doing this work. That's what they do. So to them, it's not about them having Mwonzora as the prime minister. No, it's about them making sure that the party, there is no strength in the opposition, and this opposition cannot make inroads in the rural areas where they play their game. So that's the reason. It's not much about him being a project of, trying to make sure that he brings ZANU-PF back to power. It's about making sure that the opposition does not make inroads in the rural areas where they play their game. So that's what it is all about. And you spend much of your time fighting instead of spending much of your time rebuilding, making strategies, making sure that you win your electorate. That is the problem. So that is what Mwonzora is doing, and I believe this must be the end. And if he wants to salvage something in 2023, I think he should close shop, find another opposition party maybe that he can join hands with. But at this point in time, I don't see him retaining even one seat in 2023 or even a ward if he's very lucky, because it looks like all these MPs, they are going to defect. This one that we played you right now, I think is already a defected MP. The others, like the other MPs that are inside parliament right now, they will not defect because of the financial benefits that have been accrued to them. But as for retaining any other seat in 2023, he must forget. That's my thinking. But anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. Let me just read some comments before I close this broadcast and hear what you guys have to say. Let's go to your comments and see here. Admire Chauruka. With Mwonzora going back to the drawing board does not work. He lacks the charisma, which is the primary vehicle in pulling crowds in politics. Yes, in politics, where you communicate, with poet. In politics, you communicate with poet, and then because you are supposed to. It's like Unyenga Mskana, you are proposing to a girl. You must present what you want to do to that woman. You can't just, claim that you have to present your vision to your.
You have to present your vision to your girl. So I had to remove that one. But anyway, if you can hear me, just say, yes, I can hear you. Right. So what I was trying to say is that is the problem that Mwonzora is facing. He's facing that problem, and he is not a good communicator. And even if he goes back to the drawing board, I don't see him making any inroads like what Nelson Chamisa did in a short space of time. Remember, Mwonzora had the funds, he had he did not have any disturbances going to the election, but still, they followed this bill. So I think you need to close shop. Douglas his focus was not to win elections. He's there to destabilize the see. Yes, that is a very, very good point. That's what I was trying to communicate. That's also the role of ZANU-PF. It's there to destabilize the opposition. And when they destabilize the opposition spend their strength on looking at Douglas Mwonzora. What is Douglas Mwonzora doing? Or whatever. They don't then focus on building their cell groups, building their bases and everything, and making sure that they mobilize people, make sure that people register people. It's always good to go out there and mobilize people using ways like Twitter and working groups, but taking the videos, those are, yes, they are ways of trying to encourage others, but the bigger way of encourage your voter to go out and vote is to communicate and having that interpersonal engagement, which is being hindered by these fights. Because now, all this while, MTC had closed almost a closed shop. Mr. Jameson would go out there, that's COVID, the home sale, we're not sure what's happening. So that is the problem. Let me hear Ben or saying that, but rather if you guys feel you say yes, that's the goal of the opposition. Any opposition party in any country is to critique the government, hold the government accountable. In the event that Mr. Chamisa becomes the president, you have ZANU-PF, and if Mwonzora is there, or he should be a non-entity, he'll be in the opposition pages. So he also needs to hold the government accountable. No matter what, that can only be done by a strong opposition. And at this point in time, I see the strong opposition in ZANU-PF. Like you wanted to split the votes, that was spoken and failed. And also the other thing that you also need to see is that ZANU-PF, they are also fed up with him because he failed to do in terms of destabilization. Maybe he did a good job, but the second thing is him being able to split votes substantially. He has not done that because if you look at April, margin was 1,000, but margin between ZANU-PF and GPC was not that much, was more than 1,000. So which means that he did not manage to actually split the votes as ZANU-PF would want, even in the rural areas. So that is the problem. Okay, that's the last comment. So that's all that I have for you guys. I wanted to give you that analysis to say this is the end of it. He cannot communicate his vision to his immediate leaders, which is the paramount thing. And then he fails again to communicate that vision to his electorate, which is also another thing. But at the same time, is somebody who cannot run his ship well. Somebody is speaking left, he is speaking right. There is no cohesion in his party. There is no cohesion in his party. So that is the problem that he's having. And he needs to work on that if he's going to solve something. Alright. Oh, sorry about the sound. The sound is bad. Oh, the sound quality is very bad. Okay, sorry about that. Let me see if I can use my other lapel. Okay.
All right. I think you can hear me clearly. Right. I think you can hear me clearly now. All right. Jacob Mchuchut, can you hear me now? Sorry, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I'll have to edit out that part. But anyway, I think I've communicated my message. But later tonight, please join us as we are going to be having that conversation with Mr. Juma, who is from the CCC, as we're going to be giving us how the fundraising is going to go. So please join us tonight. I wanted to please check on our Facebook page, JCTV Africa, and also on Zim Social when we're going to have him. So please make sure that you join us tonight as we have that conversation, because it is very, very important. It comes back to the subject that I was saying, that as the opposition has been destabilized, now people need to work on lost time. So for us to get lost time back, we need funds. ZANU-PF has got all the funds. They can fund the chiefs. They can fund to the cell group. They can fund that. They can buy. They can give their supporters t-shirts, regalia, and everything. In CCC, you don't have that. You actually have a shortage of people who have to buy their t-shirts. So that means that there is need for money, and the money can come from the citizens to fund the struggle. And also, if you look at when we going to 2023, the allocation of money might also be a factor, because CCC has got 19 seats at this point in time, and the allocation of funds is based on the number of seats that you have in parliament. So CCC have got 90, so their allocation of money is not going to be much. More money is going to be given to Mwonzora. So it means that there is need for more money for mobilization, and more money for for the polling agents to be able to work. And I have highlighted to you how this is important. But anyway, I don't want to preempt what our interview is going to be, but please join us tonight. I'm going to announce the guest tonight. I'm going to be having Mr. Juma tonight, so that we can have that conversation on how the fundraising is going to go, and where are you going to put your money, and how can you join in, and all of that. So please join us tonight, as we are going to be having with the president, Mr. Chijanji. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. So tonight we are going to be having that conversation. I don't want to waste much of your time on this subject. And apologies for the sound quality that we had earlier on, but all good. Tonight we are going to be having that conversation. Thank you. I'll see you on the